Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to be doing another video in my series about shopping at the Goodwill outlet bins. Today the topic of this video is going to be my best finds from the Goodwill outlets. I'm going to go through my top 15 finds, and as the title suggests, I did find a piece of Chanel that I will go into this video, so stay tuned to the very end. And if you guys like these videos, please like and subscribe to be notified when I put out additional videos. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this was one of my better shoe finds from the bins. This was actually pretty early on in my thrifting career. It was probably one of the first time that I ever went to the bins, and I had never heard of this brand before, but when I picked them up, I could tell that they were very well made and they were very high quality. They had leather soles and lots of branding on them. The leather was very nice, the stitching was very nice. So even though I didn't know this brand at the time, I could tell it was a very high quality item and definitely something worth picking up. I think I ended up getting a very decent price for it, and since then I've looked more into Tamara Mellon and learned lots more about her brands, about her shoes, and so I've sold this brand a couple more times, but obviously not from the bins, but from online sourcing. So $150. This was probably ultimately not more than a couple dollars. So a great turnaround on this item. All right, next up was this Anthropologie Bordeaux dress that sold for $175. This was an item that had originally been sold at Anthropologie and was seen on lots of celebrities, and specifically Taylor Swift. One of my favorite things to find out about an item is if Taylor Swift has worn it, it is probably going to do really well. There's going to be lots of people that are interested in finding it. It was in pretty good condition, and I was thrilled this sold for as well as it did. It ended up sitting a little while because I did hold out for the highest offer. I think I did end up accepting an offer because I probably had it listed for just a little bit more, but I was very happy with this return. Next up was some Beholden wedding bridal veils that I came upon, and I've actually sneaked in 2 items here. But what ended up happening was I came to the bins one day and I was looking around deciding where to start, and out of the corner of my eye I saw a bin that was just overflowing with white gauzy material, and I immediately beelined for that bin. And I just remember pulling out these giant poofy dresses, and people were just giving me the weirdest looks because who's gonna get white wedding bridal stuff from the bins? It's gonna be dirty and gross. And I'm so glad that I actually did, because everything was, for the most part, in great condition. I'll show you one kind of caveat. Actually, I think you can kind of see it in these pictures, but one of these veils actually had quite a lot of tears in it, and I did have to take pictures of all of the tears and show that it was damaged. But overall, I think that the material was so transparent that it was probably pretty hard to see, but could have been repaired if the person wanted to. I was able to find kind of some of the original pictures, and as you can see, there were tons of model photos, which is always a really good sign. These veils had retailed for multiple hundreds of dollars, and so there was lots of handiwork, lots of beadwork, lots of embroidery in these veils, and so I listed them high and took kind of the best offer. And again, this is one of those items that doesn't weigh a lot, doesn't take up a lot of room, so definitely one of my favorite items to sell. and you'll see some more items that come up from that haul. All right, on the theme of bridal and wedding stuff, I found this Waters bridal dress as well. It was a gorgeous kind of mermaid style dress with these long straps that you could tie kind of however you wanted. I had never come up with this brand before, and I think it's probably sold at multiple retailers. I was able to find a model photo that was somewhat similar, but not of the exact dress, because I think this dress actually was made quite a while ago. And I did disclose that, and I highly recommend that you do disclose if you use a model photo that isn't exactly of the dress, but you kind of want to show the style and the fit of it. Definitely explicitly say that in your listing so that the buyer is aware that the model photo that they're seeing is not the exact one of that dress. But anyways, there was lots of intricate work in this dress, and I ended up selling it for almost $200, which is amazing. So I was really happy about that sale. All right, next up was another brand I had never heard of before and have not come across since, but Eveco, which apparently is this brand that makes lots of merino wool cashmere items. And this was this gorgeous sweater, jacket, shacket thing that was 100% merino wool and super colorful and lots of intricate detail into the design of this jacket, and it was the softest thing ever, and it was so well constructed and so well stitched that I knew, even though I had never heard of this brand before, and I think the tag actually doesn't look like it's gonna be like a very highly retailing item. It actually ended up doing really well, obviously, but I knew that it was something worth picking up because of some of those features. And obviously, like, if you're gonna see anything that's 100% merino wool or cashmere at the bins, you don't need me to tell you, definitely pick that up. All right, next one here was this McCage wool coat. This is a really high retailing designer brand. You can probably find it on lots of online retailers. It sells for very high prices, you know, several hundreds of dollars. This was a really small size, which doesn't always do the best, but if you're at the bins, definitely pick it up. This was in incredible condition. I was so happy about that. It was like kind of at the top of this bin. And actually, I'll give credit where credit is deserved. My husband actually found this, and I was so thrilled. He had never heard of this brand. I had never heard of this brand, obviously. I know about it now, and I definitely look for it. But definitely one of the best pickups that I've ever had. Next is Black Halo. If you are not familiar with this brand, I highly recommend that you become familiar with it. This is a very high retailing brand. They make dresses and rompers. These brands have been worn by Kate Middleton and lots of other royal family members, and Meghan Markle and like all of those people. They're kind of on the more professional, like career type outfits. And then they, you know, definitely make formal dress items as well. They retail for a lot of money, and if you can find a great stock photo, they will definitely do better. And the great thing about this is one of those brands that there are lots of bloggers and influencers out there that love to take pictures with these items. So I loved that I found this at the pins. The one kind of downside of this was that I could not find the original belt, so the belt loops were just empty. And so I suspect, you know, either the person didn't have it anymore, they lost it, or maybe like it got lost in the bin, or maybe someone that was going through the bin just wanted the belt and they grabbed it. So that's definitely like one of the cons of the bins and something to keep in mind. But what I ended up doing was I kind of just looked for the rest of that bins trip for like any additional belts that I thought could work, and I ended up finding this like sash, and I definitely disclosed that in the listing to make sure people were aware that it was not going to be coming with the belt that was photographed in the model photos, but the one that I was photographing. But even despite not having the original belt, this actually ended up doing really well. I was really happy with the profit on this item. All right, on the topic of Taylor Swift's items, this was the cardigan from the song Cardigan. There was a lot of kind of craze over this item. And again, I will give credit where credit is due. This was another item that my husband found. He was so proud of himself with this one. But he did a great job, and there are obviously lots of online photos with different celebrities and models and Taylor Swift herself wearing this. And so this was a really great come up. Obviously, if you ever find something like this, definitely pick it up. All right, this was a vintage brand that I had never heard of before, Concord. Again, another item I haven't come up with again since that time, but definitely, gonna keep an eye out for it. There were so many unique details, and there was so much work that went into the production and the creation of this dress, and so I had a lot of low offers, but I really stuck to wanting to get a better offer because this was a perfect condition dress, but it was the material was just absolutely gorgeous, like a sheer floral type material. There were tons of pleats in this that must have taken forever to make. It was lined, and also it had these gorgeous buttons that I hope you can kind of see in my pictures, but they were very intricate. And I really wanted to keep this dress, but it ran very small and just didn't fit me, which was really sad. But I'm super thrilled with how well this dress ended up doing. All right, this is another item that came from that haul of all the Beholden items. This particular brand was called Ofrenda, which I had never heard of before. Haven't come across again since. This was a bridal veil that had been sold at Beholden, but may have been sold at other retailers as well. But this was a gorgeous veil that was kind of down to the floor and maybe even a little bit longer, but this actually had lots of beaded, like hand sewn stars throughout the veil. I mean, it was incredible. This must have taken forever to make. And I wish I would have maybe stuck out for a better price, but I think this was another one of the veils that actually had a couple rips in it, which again, I did disclose, but again, I was very happy with the sale price of this item. And this was another one of those ones that was retailing for a ton of money, sold out online. So I was very happy with this find. Okay, this next one was a Moschino collaboration, I think, with Jeremy Scott. I don't know who that person is. I think they're like a designer of some sort. And this was this like teddy bear print dress that I think the thing that gave it away for me was the big tag. I think at the time, again, this was very early on in my thrifting career, I'd never heard of Moschino before, but I knew that it was well made, and I think the tag was really what drew my eye. Lo and behold, when I got home, I found lots of model photos of this item, and it looks like it had retailed for almost $600, which actually seems a little low for Moschino now that I know more about that brand, but that's what it says it had retailed for, so that's what we'll go with. And I ended up actually selling it for more than the lowest sale price that I was able to find online, so $238, so I'm super happy with that sale. This was another item from the wedding bridal stuff that I had found. This was specifically an Oleg Cassini dress. This was new at tags. It was probably one of the best things that I found that day. Surprisingly, even though it was, in a BINS dirty bin, as you might expect. It was actually in excellent condition. There were no flaws on it. There were no missing beads as far as I could tell. And even despite like my not so great pictures, this ended up actually selling for a very good price, especially considering that this dress retails for over $1,000. When I searched for this dress, I found that this is actually a very popular dress that they sell and they've made repeatedly over the years. And so I was very happy with that sale. Maybe I could have stuck out for a little bit higher of a sale price, but I was really happy with that offer, and so I just let it go. Okay, this is another great sale. Again, one of my kind of recurring themes here is I love things that are very lightweight. They don't take up a lot of room, they're going to be cheap to ship, and they're easy to like move around, lug around. And so this is another one of those items. This was a Haney dress. So this was called the Holly open back dress. It was 100% silk, and this had originally been sold at Revolve. It came in multiple colors, but mine was blue, this gorgeous blue color. It had been worn on a TV show and by multiple celebrities in other colors. Not the specific blue one, but I'm not even really sure why I picked it up initially, probably because it was silk. It's another one of those materials that I just kind of pick up, research it later because of that. It's probably going to be a higher retailing item. But then when I got home and I searched it, came up with this dress that sold for almost $900, which I think is crazy, but ended up selling for $400. So I was thrilled, beyond thrilled with that sale price. All right, we are at my second to last item, which looks like I've cut off the title, but this was a vintage Gunny Sacks dress. When I found this randomly in a bin that had been picked by a bunch of people and I saw this tag, I just like secretly didn't make a fuss, just put it in the bottom of my cart and just kept on walking. I was so thrilled with this find. I think probably the reason that nobody picked it up was because it was vintage, and so, I mean, I don't know when this was made, probably in the like 70s or 60s or something. But it was like, you had to be gentle with it. Like, you couldn't tug on it, it would rip apart. And so you can kind of see some of the lacing there. I actually went in and kind of hand sewed and reinforced it, but it was coming apart. And some of the straps were coming apart. Some of the side waist stitching was coming apart. So I actually ended up having to do some sewing on this dress, and there was quite a few hours of repair. And so that's another thing to kind of keep in mind with some items that you might pick up at the bins. If they are going to take you a lot of time to repair and fix, that is something that you need to take into account with the resulting cost of that item, because all of a sudden you're putting in a ton of your time, which equals money, into an item that potentially might not sell for very well. And so you really kind of have to pick your battles. Is that item worth your time and your energy to fix and repair? Is it going to get you a good profit? And this item actually ended up doing very well for me, $500. I was beyond thrilled. I would love to find more Gunny Sacks items, obviously. I have found one other item since that time that's Gunny Sacks, but it's a girl's dress, and obviously isn't going to do as well as a women's dress, but definitely one of the things to look out for. All right, guys, so we've made it to the very last item. As promised, the final and best item that I've ever found at the bins was this Chanel purse. And again, I have to give credit where credit is due. This was another one of my husband's finds. I mean, can you believe it? This guy, I mean, I wish he would come with me at the bins all the time, but he doesn't want to. I should just remind him at how good he is at finding stuff. But this was a 100% authentic Chanel. It was called the Supique quilted duffel bag, and it was in excellent condition. Now, this was one of the very first Chanel items that I had ever handled, and so I was not sure of my authentication skills, and honestly, to this day, with the bags, I am not certain that I can authenticate it, and so I don't even bother with it. And so I will go through an authentication service. I highly recommend that you do that and get your items authenticated if you think you have the item that you think you have. It's just not worth it to deal with trying to sell a fake item online. This item was one that he found actually in a new bin. I usually don't recommend going to the new bins. I don't want to get in people's business and really close to people and fight through things. Some people are into that. Some people have found items, but I have found that more often than not, I don't end up finding anything great, and it's just kind of stressful to be up close to so many people fighting through a bin. I just don't want to do that. And I just have found the majority, 90% of my items I have found just in a bin that's already been picked through, because we are not all looking for the same items. Anyways, that's another tangent that I won't get into today, but this was an item that randomly he found in a brand new bin, and it was amazing, and it was real, and it ended up selling for the highest amount that we have ever sold a BINS item. And so this was just incredible. It was just an amazing find. I'm probably never going to find something like that again, but it just goes to show you never know what treasure you might find. All right, guys, thanks for your attention. You have stuck out to the very end. I hope that was educational, or at least entertaining for you. If you liked this video, please check out my other videos. I'm doing some kind of new BINS, Goodwill educational videos like this one. I hope that was educational. But in the past, I have done videos more about luxury item reviews and how to repair and restore your luxury items, how to authenticate items, and that sort of stuff. So if that all sounds interesting to you, please like and subscribe to my videos. You will be notified when I put out new stuff, and it just really helps my channel. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.